Hey everyone, I'm Alex Frankfort, Head of Product at Xata. In this demo, tech lead Alexis Rico walks us through a migration of cal.com to Xata and showcases some great new features along the way. He touches upon dedicated clusters, which are dedicated infrastructure for your Postgres databases, providing more predictable costs, auto-scaling, and simple workflows for maintenance like major version upgrades. He also dives into our new queries view, which is a nice playground for commonly run SQL statements, ending it off with our new multi-version schema migration, allowing you to make schema changes to both old and new versions while your application is live in production. That's it for me. Take it away, Alexis.
To give a sneak peek of the new features that we have available in Xata this week, I'm going to use cal.com, a scheduling tool that allows you to set up different templates and share the link with others so that they can create an invite directly to your calendar. What makes cal.com amazing is that it's completely open source, and it has been one of the different tools and applications that we have been trying with Xata to make sure that we are ready for production use cases. So let's try to deploy cal.com directly on Xata using Postgres. First of all, we are going to create our new database, and the first new feature that we are going to showcase is dedicated clusters. Until now, you were able to create databases in a shared cluster that gets traffic from different users. But starting this week, you can now create your own dedicated cluster. A dedicated cluster is a database that is completely for you. You can customize the resources that you allocate for your production-grade database. So let's start configuring a new cluster. First of all, we are going to set up the name, cal.com, and then we are going to customize the region where it's going to be located. During the beta, we only have available US East 1, and now we see that we can even customize the amount of resources that we want to allocate to the new dedicated cluster. We have an option to set up auto-scaling, which offers an elastic compute solution where you can configure the minimum and maximum capacity of your database. Depending on the amount that you configure, as you can see in the sidebar, you can see the estimate cost that you will see at the end of the month. If you don't want to set up auto-scaling, you can change to a default template based on the AWS database offerings. So for example, we have T4G medium, we have T3 large, we have different options to allocate more fixed resources to our database. For the sake of this demo, we are going to use T4G medium, the cheapest one that we have available. Provisioning a new cluster takes around 30 minutes, so let's wait until that finishes. Now that we have our dedicated cluster available and ready to use, we can create our new cal.com database. We are going to allocate it in US East 1 in the cal.com cluster. So now that we have our database ready, we can see that it's completely empty. How are we going to upload the schema? So cal.com uses Prisma behind the scenes. Prisma is an ORM that offers a way to declare your schema and your migrations. So let's go into code and initialize the database. The only thing we need to customize in our cal.com repo is the environment variables to connect directly to our database, the connection string to our Postgres database so that Prisma can connect and upload the schema. Let's install the dependencies first. Yarn install. And to deploy to the new database that we have just created, yarn db deploy. This will now take all the different migrations that are available in the repository, upload them into Xata, and initialize the database. Since cal.com has been around for some time, there are a lot of migrations that need to be applied. Let's wait until all of them finish. One of the features that we have launched this week is the new Queries UI. It's a new feature that allows you to write SQL, TypeScript, or Python queries and introspect the values that are in the production database. For example, let's get all the different users that are created in our database. We have a select the star from the table users, and as you can see right now, we don't have any user in our new cal.com database. But what will happen if we initialize the admin user in our database? Let's see. So now we are creating the first user, the administrator user, we are setting the license, and we are not enabling any app for now. And if we go back into Xata, now we see that we have one new user in our database. This new queries view will help you to understand the data that you have available in your database and create queries that you can reuse into your development workflow. Also, as you can see, the data is available in a nice table that you can look, in JSON that you can copy, or even to download it in CSV so that you can pair it with your preferred data analysis tool. Another nice feature that we are launching this week is multi-version. By integrating into Xata our open source tool pgroll, we are able now to run multiple versions inside your schema. What does that mean? Well, it's what I like to call the Schrödinger cat of migrations. Because now you can open the door to a migration that is at the same time complete and rollbacked. Let's see an example with the cal.com database. For example, cal.com had this issue in the repository. A user was asking for a feature request that allows you to customize light mode or dark mode only for cal.com without choosing the system preference. When this issue was opened, cal.com already had that setting, but only for the public booking page that you can share with others so that they can create events in your calendar. But what happens if you want to customize your own dashboard differently from the booking page? Let's see how they edited the schema at the time. So if we go into detail into how they implemented it, you can see that they already had a theme property in the user table that was being used for the booking page. They were adding a second setting that was for the application theme for the dashboard. Why didn't they rename the theme property into a booking page theme property? Mainly because a rename is a dangerous operation. You can have active traffic in your website, you need to accommodate for different steps in your migration process, and you also need to do a data migration. So instead of renaming the old theme property into booking page theme, they added a to-do comment to do the data migration in a future moment. But let's imagine that they were using Xata. Would the new multi-version feature help in this scenario? Let's see. If we go into the new migration editor that we have available in the Xata UI, we can now start long-lived migrations. Let's see how we can create a new migration to alter the column of the user's table theme and rename it into booking page theme. This migration editor, it's type safe, so it suggests you the different properties that you can set in a JSON format. For example, we want to alter a column. And to alter a column, we need to specify, first of all, the table. And which table had the property? The user's table. Now we want to alter the column theme and rename it into booking page theme. Now that we have created our migration, we can start applying it live. Behind the scenes, it's creating two different schemas that can be queried at the same time by the application. Doesn't matter if your data comes into the old or new version of your application, both of them will go into the same property. Let's see how it looks like in the table view of the users table inside Xata. If we go into the users table inside Xata, you can see that we have one only column with two different names. This is true not only for renames, but for any change or migration that you want to apply with zero downtime guarantees in a single step. You can think of renames of columns, renames of tables, adding constraints, setting a column to be not null, adding uniqueness guarantees, everything with a safe migration approach. Now that we have implemented the changes in a PR, let's review what we had to edit to do this breaking change in a zero downtime single migration. Let's see. For example, in the Xata migrations ledger, we see that we have one new migration that has been applied. This new migration includes the alter column with the rename. Also, we had to update different parts of the application to do the change from theme to booking page theme. Finally, we have the update into the Prisma schema file. With only these changes, we have been able to fully rename in a single migration that it's safe to be used from the old deployment and the new deployment without having to perform any data migration, only by changing the search path in our connection string.